So Simon's cast out really wide on the left-hand side. Left or right, does it matter?
Doesn't matter. And she pulled up in just the right spot. It's a little bit harder here. She won't be able to see Simon, so hopefully she'll be able to hear him, just to get him around that little fenced off area in the middle.
Bouncy, isn't it?
Yeah, they were a little bit warped at that square in the middle, but Simon's probably feeling reasonably comfortable at the moment.
I'm trying to remember Di from last year when she was in the arena here. She works fairly closely on the sheep, doesn't she?
Yep, and she likes to contact the sheep, but she's got good soft movement on stock. They actually really generally quite like her. She's a pretty smart dog that's got good feel on her stock, which makes so much difference if the dog's actually got natural feel on the sheep, because it's very hard to manufacture that in a pressure situation. So if the dog naturally does it under pressure, it just makes life so much easier.
So we've got to work those sheep through on Simon's left-hand side there, everyone, and around his back.
That's right. And there's that line which they've nearly crossed over, because he can't move until they've come across that line.
I thought Di was good last year, but she's amazing this year.
Working well.
Yeah.
You notice when the dog sort of goes to where the head of the sheep are, if the dog does that and then the sheep see the dog, then the sheep stay put. So then the dog will come back on the tail, put a little bit of movement, the sheep will move forward, and then the dog will go back and pull them up again. Then after a while, the sheep actually think, well, as long as I'm just walking steadily forward, I'm not going to run, because if I do, there's something there to pull me up. So then they think, well, I'll just walk. And if you notice how she works, you just watch the flow of the sheep, and where the dog is will tell you whether she's got them in the right frame of mind.
Well, that one didn't seem too worried. Had a bit of grass, a bit of relief.
That's right, yeah.
Which is good.
And you can see, it's always a bit like a footy game when you say they're right in front, they're going to kick a goal. Well, we'll talk about this, and then all of a sudden they'll take off. But generally, the way they're walking and they're quite relaxed within themselves is a pretty good sign.
So if you just joined us, this is the Three Sheep Sheepdog Trial. We're doing what is called a championship course here at the Perth Royal Show. So we've got our doggies and our handlers manoeuvring the three sheep around 4 obstacles on the main arena here. They'll be given 15 minutes in which to accomplish that task, and they start with 100 points, and points are deducted when things don't go quite as planned. And there's a number of rules which they need to keep in mind, and one of them is the 9-metre rule. So how's our little doggy going, do you reckon there?
I'd say from where I'm standing, he'd be very happy with it. Some people could sort of say, oh, he got good sheep. You know, they released and they were relaxed when they released. But at the end of the day, the dog's got to keep them good, and that's where it is. You get good sheep, you keep them good. Sometimes you get good sheep, and then the dogs do their best to bugger them up.
It's Australian language, isn't it?
So who decided what actual obstacles would have formed part of the championship course? Why did they decide these particular obstacles?
As I said in the last couple of days, this course was developed a number of years ago. I can't remember quite how long. But this course is evolved, and it incorporates a section of every state, how their state courses run. There's a part of it in here. So WA's got a little bit in here, New South Wales, Victoria, and so on. So that's why it's a national course, because it sort of adopts, everybody's got a little bit of input into it. And I think it's proved pretty successful. Because before, when they used to have the national championships, when they went to WA, they did a WA course. When you went to New South Wales, you worked their course. And I think over time they just felt it was better to have a uniform course. Yeah. So that's why they developed this course.
Brilliant. So we're moving across that northern end of the arena now. So we've gone from the gate, and the next obstacle is known as the race. So what's a race, Matthew?
It's a little bit, it's a bit wider, but they've still got to hold the sheep. So the gap is actually a point where you can technically break the sheep in a bit, so that when you come to the race, the sheep have actually accepted the dog, and then you can position them in to that race area and manoeuvre them through the race. So whereas the bridge tends to test the cover and hold, which is the holding of the sheep in a position, and then you need the force to put them over.
And Simon's stationary in his little circle there. Oh, the doggy's got the ball facing the right way, and they are through. That's obstacle number 2, done. And as you said before, someone can choose to move off as soon as they've got their heads through. And they did, he did. He's pretty much moved almost before they came out of the end.
Oh, he's got to wait till all sheep have exited the obstacle before he can move on. Once they've exited, then he can move, but he can't move earlier.
Pretty tight to me.
Yeah, well, we've got the luxury actually of being able to look at the big screen, which...
Yeah, that's true. Very true. So our judge has come over from Tasmania, Mr. Carpenter. What's his claim to fame?
Well, actually, when I first met Adrian's done a lot of yard trialling over the years, and he would have started in his yard trialling, but I know in the latter years he's actually got the 3 sheep bug, which is what we're doing now, and I think he really appreciates what's necessary in this side of it. And there's a number of very successful triallers that have started in yard trialling and progressed on to 3 sheep trialling, and I think it helps their yard trialling, and you learn how to read your sheep and position your sheep. So, and yeah, Adrian's become quite successful. I know he represented Tasmania at our big championship this year as one of their Tasmanian reps.
That was almost orderly the way those sheep went over there. Our little doggy sort of anticipated. There was one turned its head, the little doggy moved straight away to cut that sheep off.
Yep.
And push back up. You call that a press?
And yeah, it's
like
pretty...
Not a full body press, we're just pushing in, using only our eyeballs and our stretcher.
And the sheep sort of know it, like they respect the dog, so they're not going to sort of argue, and she's not overdoing anything, so she's not creating problems, she's just being there where she needs to be.
So we're coming across to our final obstacle now, the last one. We've got 7 minutes left to go. The sheep seem to be fairly well mannered and under control. Our little doggy's at the back, she's pacing nicely, gently. Simon, I reckon, would be pretty confident at this point in time as he walks towards the final pen.
Yep, I'd say he would be feeling a lot more comfortable than what he did when he started, put it that way.
You've got to keep him from going all the way around. Come on, little doggy, push back. Remembering how many points do we lose if we let the sheep go right the way in front of that obstacle?
He would have done 2 points.
2 points?
For me. If they come right round the pen and come around to where we are and front it up, he'd have done 3 points. And if they sort of go too far away from the Oxville 9 metres, he'd do another point there.
She's got beautiful paw work, hasn't she? She just lifts them up and gently, gracefully down.
Yeah, she moves into position softly, and the sheep really appreciate that.
Why does the sheep appreciate that when you say that? What do you mean?
Oh, well, they're not upset. They're quite confident to be manipulated, but they're not fearful and they're not worried, so they're quite respectful.
5 minutes 41 on the clock. Our little doggy's going to hold them. Just giving them the eye. Simon stepped out of his circle. The gate's in his hand. And the clock stops now. Well done, Di.